ya enen ummatore jiha Taraba Allah fesinan e riskuji kaaje zinari ha jiha Taraba e ma nokkuje jamatirle fere to seyni non may don yide e gannudi fere ha yake wasuki man den urna fu ummatore do wasa gasde loggude masin don julkitanen yake fiji nokkuje meden non man don waddanen billaji fere ha yake fiji ngendam meden yowki wasakaaje zinari don fodana bikkon medon sende hukki jangirle ha yake ngendam mabbe non man don wade ngam silanki kebal jawngal ha ngendam bi adama to mettudum der majum ni waduki non man hokkan kebal seni wattam magal don sawi e gannude e ma torraji wasmirro fere ko handani en kam en naftoro be didadi e ma wasuki kaaje zinari herno handi ngam wattam ngendam meden e ma labbaje meden hawtaade be gure meden den non man wallitan keron ha bamtuki saman fiji risku meden wo'etinki jangirle meden e ma bamtuki saman galluje e labbaje ngam man wodi boten anda wasuki kaaje zinari nano handi don fodana en feccaki leddi e ma bayli dum soyde jahol yeso lesdi non man hada en ndiyam jaretedam boddam e wadda bonalu saka ummatore to haadi do tokkitanama en bonni yake ngendam meden no wattam meden jango latoto ya enen bibbe jiha Taraba ngam man latani en dole en paddo yake fiji risku meden e ma jiha meden fu no foti en daro en gokka faddode faaki gese meden maayeji meden fattule meden e ma lesdi meden fu no foti do dum andinore on iga komanda hukuma hakkilanta fiji wasuki kaaje zinari SP Emmanuel Jamu.
Broadcasting live from Jalingo. Follow the Pulse of the Nation on Facebook at Some TV and watch the live stream on YouTube at Some TV Live. This is Zainab Sali Sambo, and now the major headlines. President Tinubu directs VP Shetima to Kebbi commiserate with victims of schoolgirls' abduction. Taraba Governor Dr. Abu Kepas postpones APC defection amid Kebbi schoolgirls' kidnap tragedy. Bandits killed 3, abduct 30 in attack on church in Eruku, Kwara State, as Senate calls for recruitment of 100,000 troops. Probe of safe school funds following Kebbi attack. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has directed Vice President Kashim Shettima to visit Kebbi State on Wednesday to commiserate with the government over the abduction of schoolgirls in Maga. Through his spokesperson, Bayo Onanuga, Tinubu assured parents of swift rescue efforts and commended Governor Nasir Idris' attempt to prevent the attack. He lamented the security breach, urging affected communities to share intelligence to aid security agencies, noting the incident occurred despite prior warnings. Taraba State Governor Dr. Agbu Kefas has postponed his planned defection to All Progressive Congress, citing the recent kidnapping of schoolgirls in Kebbi State. Describing the incident as a national tragedy, he said political activities must give way to solidarity and concern for the victims. Kefas urged security agencies to intensify rescue efforts and called on Nigerians to remain united, prayerful, and vigilant. A new date for his political movement will be announced later.
Dear people of Taraba State, fellow Nigerians, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, in the light of the deeply troubling incident of the kidnapping of innocent schoolgirls in Kebbi State, I have taken the solemn decision to postpone my scheduled declaration and movement to the All Progressive Congress at a moment when our nation is once again confronted with the painful reality of insecurity. Solidarity and compassion must rise above politics. The safety of our children, the most vulnerable and precious members of our society, is far more important than any political activities or ceremony. Today, my heart is with the families of the abducted children, with the government of the people of Kebbi State, and with every Nigerian who feels weight of this tragic incident, especially the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, as a father, as a leader, and as a governor whose administration has prioritized security, education, and the protection of the vulnerable, I believe it is morally right and nationally responsible to suspend all major political events until the situation receives the urgent attention it deserves. This is not a time for celebration. It is a time for reflection, a time for prayers, and a time for unity and collective action. I call on all security agencies, which I know they have the capacity to rescue these children, to intensify effort to ensure the safe return of the girls. I also call on Nigerians to remain calm, vigilant, prayerful, and united in this difficult moment. A new date for my movement will be communicated after due consultations and when it is appropriate to do so. May God protect our daughters. May God heal our land. Amen. May God restore peace to every part of Nigeria. Amen. Thank you and God bless you. Amen.
Meanwhile, the former chairman of People's Democratic Party, PDP, Alhaji Abubakar Bawa, who just resigned from the party, has officially joined the All Progressive Congress, APC. He made the announcement at a press briefing yesterday in Jalingo.
And have decided to align with our leader, His Excellency Dr. Abu Kefas. It is therefore my pleasure to inform you and the general public that I and my teaming supporters are now members of All Progressive Congress APC. I wish at this point thank you members of the press for your support for me and my political journey. Thank you and God bless you all.
Chaos broke out at the PDP National Secretariat in Abuja, when rival faction clashed during a NEC meeting convened by suspended National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu. Supporters of the Anyanwu group and the Damagum-led leadership confronted each other at the entrance, forcing police to fire tear gas to disperse the crowd. Several people were injured and property was damaged before security operatives restored order. Governor Bala Mohammed and Sheikh Makinde were at the secretariat when the confrontation occurred. Hours later, reports indicated that the newly emerged national chairman, Sani Mutaraki, had assumed office and addressed both the press and his supporters.
I want to call on President Trump. What is at stake is not just genocide against Nigerian Christians. He should come and save democracy in Nigeria. Democracy is under threat. I'm calling on all other developed nations, all advanced democracies, come and save Nigeria, come and save democracy. Because I cannot understand how a serving minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will be leading talks, armed talks, and then with the active connivance or support of the police to come and create mayhem here. I have said it, we are willing to lay down our lives to protect our office, to protect our democracy, to protect our mandate. So Nigerians, you are watching what is happening. International community, you are seeing the threat that Nigerian democracy is. Come and save us. Come and save us.
In a related development, Senator Samuel Anyang, on behalf of the Damagum-led faction, has issued a statement announcing the suspension of Turaki Tanimu and other key members of the opposing camp, including Governor Bala Mohammed, Sheyi Makinde, and Dauda Lawal, citing alleged violence of party procedures amid the escalating PDP crisis. Bandits attacked Eruku community in Kwara State on Tuesday around 6:05 p.m., targeting a First CAC church in Okeado, Ekiti local government area. During a special program, security sources report 3 worshippers were killed, while at least 30 residents, including children and the elderly, were abducted. Injured victims were taken to Egbe General Hospital in Kogi State. The attack, part of ongoing violence in the area, has sparked fear, prompting authorities to launch search and rescue operations. The Senate has urged President Bola Tinubu to approve the recruitment of 100,000 additional military personnel to combat insurgency, banditry, and school attacks. Lawmakers also called for a probe into Safe School Program funds following the Kebbi attack on government girls' secondary school, which left a vice principal dead and 25 students abducted. Senate President Godswill Akpabio backed the proposal, stressing the need for strengthened security, technological support, and non-politicization of insecurity. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum urged the Nigerian armed forces to launch an aggressive offense against terrorist hideouts in Tumbus, Mandara Hills, and Sambisa Game Reserve. In a meeting with Air Chief Marshal Sunday Aneke, he called for UAV deployment and a joint Navy, Air Force, Army operation. Aneke assured enhanced operational readiness, improved intelligence integration, and stronger air power support to secure Borno and restore lasting peace. The Northern Elders Progressive Group emphasized that sustained military action is essential to eliminate banditry in Zamfara State, noting limited success from past dialogue efforts. Coordinator Alhaji Yusuf Abubakar praised Defense Minister Bello Matawalle for supporting military campaigns that dismantled bandit enclaves. He urged President Tinubu to allocate more resources to ongoing operations, stressing that persistent action is needed to protect communities and stabilize the Northwest. Nigeria convened regional leaders in Abuja to enhance coordination against violent extremism in the Lake Chad Basin. The 3-day workshop organized by the NCTC and AUCTC focused on root causes including poverty, marginalization, and political grievances. Policymakers and security experts discussed preventive frameworks, intelligence sharing, and rehabilitation programs. The meeting underscored Nigeria's leadership in counterterrorism and its commitment to all collaborative, preventive-driven regional security architecture. The European Union and Search for Common Ground has launched the Hustle reality show tagged Buje Buje, a youth-focused initiative targeting insecurity in Nigeria's Northwest. Running across Katsina, Zamfara, and Sokoto for 24 months, the program aims to equip young people with entrepreneurial skills, mentorship, and peace-building activities. EU Ambassador Gautia Mignot and Francis Diakanda of Search for Common Ground emphasized that empowering youth through economic inclusion and leadership can reduce violence and foster resilient, safer communities. Troops of the 232 Battalion Tactical under Sector 4 of Operation Hadinkai arrested a major drug supplier to Boko Haram. Zubairu Muhammad in Uba, Adamawa State. Recovered items included 14 blocks of cannabis valued over 1 million naira, methamphetamine worth over 3 million naira, and 2 army camouflage shirts. The materials will be handed over to the NDLEA. Military authorities praised the troops' effort and urged sustained operations. The Nigerian Customs Services, Tinkan Island Port Command, seized illicit drugs valued at over 2.5 billion naira during routine checks. Comptroller Frank Onyeka said the interception included 500 grams of methamphetamine worth 7.5 million naira and 105 kilograms of ecstasy valued at 2.5 billion naira. The operation was conducted in collaboration with NDLEA, DSS, and the police, demonstrating strengthened interagency efforts against narcotic trafficking. Report reaching us now says the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has announced a fresh nationwide strike starting November 21st, 2025, citing the federal government's failure to meet long-standing demands. Despite earlier negotiation and the release of 2.5 billion naira in arrests, ASU says government delays and inadequate offers have forced action. The union urges traditional leaders, civil society, students, and parents to press the government for a timely resolution to avert prolonged university shutdowns. INEC has identified poor telecommunications connectivity as the main barrier to real-time election results uploads. Chairman Professor Joash Amupisa-San said at the 2025 Digital Nigerian Conference that despite gains from the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, uneven network coverage hinders transmission of polling unit results. INEC is working with the Nigerian Communications Commission and network providers while exploring alternative technologies. BVAS has effectively ended voter impersonation and multiple voting, enhancing electoral integrity. Ahead of the Abuja Federal High Court judgment on November 20th, IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu has filed a criminal complaint accusing the Attorney General of the Federation, the DSS, the Director, and 2 prosecution witnesses of perjury, fabrication of evidence, and conspiracy to pervert justice. Filed on November 13th from DSS detention, the complaint alleges the witness lied under oath, were coached and masked, and that state officials orchestrated false testimony to secure a wrongful conviction. Kanu seeks committal proceedings and judicial acknowledgement that the prosecution relied on fabricated and coerced evidence. Families in Adamawa State joined hundreds of others across the world on Tuesday as the International Committee of the Red Cross, ICRC, opened its 4th International Conference for Families of Missing Persons, a global virtual gathering uniting 900 families from 50 countries in a renewed call for justice, accountability, and answers for more than 284,000 people still missing worldwide. Some TV correspondent ECOWAS warned democratic failure in Nigeria could trigger a wider collapse of government across West Africa. At the launch of the Regional Partnership for Democracy in Abuja, Commission President Umar Tori, represented by Commissioner Abdel Fattah Musa, highlighted threats from weak institutions, disinformation, coups, and tenure manipulation. The initiative, backed by Nigeria and UNDP, seeks to strengthen the electoral system, promote youth engagement, and counter misinformation, positioning Nigeria as a model for regional democratic resilience. Cross River State Governor Basi Osu has dissolved Local Government Service Commission Board after confirming employment racketeering in its recruitment exercise. He described the misconduct as a betrayal of public trust, suspended the tainted process, and promised a transparent, merit-based replacement. Otu reaffirmed zero tolerance for corruption and warned that officials who violate due process will face strict sanctions. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke announced a collaboration with federal agencies to expand global export opportunities for locally made products during the 2025 Osun Trade Fair. Working with NEPC and NIPC, the initiative will strengthen industrial clusters, boost agro-processing, and enhance value addition. Featured products include cocoa, honey, gari, adire, and crafts. Adeleke emphasized strong branding and public-private partnership to position Osun as a leading export hub. Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa presented a 492.8 billion naira 2026 budget to the State Assembly, and intentions after 12 lawmakers attempted to impeach Speaker Olamide Oladiji. Tagged the budget of economic consolidation. It allocates 167.5 billion naira for recurrent expenditure and 281.9 billion naira for capital projects. Aiyedatiwa said the proposal shifts the state from recovery to sustained growth. Oladiji pledged thorough legislative scrutiny. The North Central Development Commission unveiled a broad development agenda targeting poverty reduction and improved livelihood across Benue, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger, Plateau, and the FCT. Chairman Cosmas Aikigir highlighted priorities such as women and youth empowerment, infrastructure, food security, and regional stability. The Commission plans targeted interventions, strategic partnership, and resource optimization to stimulate economic growth and create sustainable employment. Food prices have fallen sharply across Ogun, Oyo, and Kwara states, giving relief to consumers. Surveys show noticeable decreases in rice, beans, gari, groundnuts, oil, yam, tomatoes, onions, and pepper. Experts attribute the drop to seasonal harvest, border reopening, and a stronger naira. Economists urge sustained investment in storage, rural security, and off-season farming. Consumers welcome the relief, but warn that purchasing power concern persists. Kwara State distributed 2,500 life jackets to Moro, Kaima, Patigi, Edo, and Bari 10 local government areas, reinforcing its strict no life jackets, no entry water transport policy. Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak said, waterway safety is essential for local development. Demonstrations and safety inspection accompanied the distribution. The initiative aims to reduce recurrent boat accidents, recalling the 2023 Patigi tragedy that killed over 100 residents. It's now time for a brief commercial break. Stay tuned, for we will return shortly.
ya enen enen ummatore jiha Taraba Allah fesinan e riskuji kaaƴe zinari ha jiha Taraba e ma nokkuje jamatirle feere feere to seyni non may ɗon yide e gannuɗi feere feere ha yaake wasuki man nden ɓurna fu ummatore ɗon wasa gasɗe logguɗe masin ɗon julkitanen yaake fiji nokkuje meɗen non man ɗon waddanen ɓillaji feere feere ha yaake fiji ngendam meɗen yewki wasakaji zinari ɗon foɗana ɓikkon meɗen sende hukki jangirle ha yaake ngendam maɓɓe non man ɗon waɗe ngam silanki keɓal jawgal ha ngendam ɓi adama to mettuɗum nder majum ni waɗuki non man hokkan keɓal seni wattan magal ɗon sawi e gannuɗi e ma torraji wasmirru feere feere ko handani en kam en naftoro be diɗaɗi e ma wasuki kaƴe zinari herno handi ngam wattam ngendam meɗen e ma labbaje meɗen hawtade be gure meɗen nden non man wallitan keron ha ɓamtuki saman fiji risku meɗen wo'itinki jangirle meɗen e ma ɓamtuki saman galluje e labbaje ngam man wodi bote en anda wasuki kaƴe zinari nano handi ɗon foɗana en feccaki leddi e ma bayli ɗum soyde jahol yeso lesdi non man haɗa en ndiyam jareteɗam boɗɗam e wadda bonabonalu saka ummatore to haaɗiɗo tokkitanama en bonniyake ngendam meɗen no wattam meɗen janggo latoto ya enen ɓiɓɓe jiha Taraba ngam man latani en dole en faddo yaake fiji risku meɗen e ma jiha meɗen fu no foti en daro en gokka faddode faaki gese meɗen mayeji meɗen fattule meɗen e ma lesdi meɗen fu no foti ɗo ɗum andinore on iga ko manda hukuma hakkilanta fiji wasuki kaƴe zinari SP Emmanuel Jamu.
Welcome back. Glad to have you still with us. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu called for collective action to protect children from sexual exploitation during an event in Abuja, marking the World Day for the Prevention and Healing of Child Sexual Abuse. She urged evidence-based policies, parental vigilance, and collaboration among government, civil society, and religious bodies. Tinubu stressed that safeguarding children requires practical, data-driven action and robust support system for victims. The Access to Basic Medical Care Foundation warned that multiple sexual partners significantly increases cervical cancer risks, noting human papillomavirus accounts for over 95% of cases. At a sensitization event in Ibadan, Dr. Anjola Oluwadamilola urged HPV vaccination for girls aged 9 to 14 and regular screening for sexually active women. Additional risk factors include early sexual activity, smoking, and limited testing. The foundation emphasized prevention through awareness and timely treatment. The Imo House of Assembly has called on the state government to direct the Commissioner for Works to construct roads and construct adequate drainage in New Owerri to prevent flooding. Lawmakers also urge the construction of standard roads with street lights to improve safety and aesthetics. The motion raised by Clinton Amadi highlighted dilapidated roads, erosion, lack of electricity, and insecurity in areas including Imo housing and the World Bank estate. The Speaker directed that the resolution will be forwarded to the Governor and relevant ministries for action. That is all for now. Follow us on Facebook at SomTV and subscribe on YouTube at SomTV Live for breaking news. I am Zainab Sadi Sambo. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and keep watching SomTV.